Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Jayam Svat Paramhamsa Pariprajacharya Satara Sadasman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giriya ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Samvita Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami.
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 Chintamani Prakara Sadmasud Kalpa Vrikhalakyabritesu Surabhirabhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasasata Samrama Sepamanam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami.
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 So we are worshipping Govindam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original person. So this sound, Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami, is reaching him. He is hearing. You cannot say that he is not hearing. Can you say? No. Especially in the scientific age, when television, radio messages are broadcast thousands and thousands of miles away, and you can hear. Why Kṛṣṇa cannot hear your prayer, sincere prayer? How can you say? Nobody can deny it. So, Premanjana Chirita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. Just like thousands and thousands of miles away, you can transfer the television picture or your radio sound. Similarly, if you can prepare yourself, then you can see always Govinda. It is not difficult. This is stated in Brahma Samhita Premanjana chirita bhakti vilochane. Simply you have to prepare your eyes, your mind in that way. Here is a television box within your heart. This is the perfection of yoga. It is not you have to purchase one machine or television set. It is there. And God is also there. You can see, you can hear, you can talk, provided you have got the machine, you repair it, that's all. The repairing process is Krsna Conscious. Otherwise, everything is supplied. Complete set of machine you have got within you. And just like for repairing, an expert mechanic required, similarly, you require the help of someone expert. And then you will see that your machine is working. It is not difficult to understand. Nobody can say that it is not possible. In the Shastra, we hear also Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya, Tinete Koriya Oikya. Spiritual realization can be perfected by three parallel process. Sadhu. Sadhu means saintly persons who are realized souls. Sadhu. And Shastra. Shastra means scriptures, authoritative scriptures, Vedic scriptures, Shastra. Sadhu, Shastra and Guru, spiritual master. Three parallel lines. And if you place your car or vehicle on these three parallel lines, your car will go direct to Krishna. Tinete Koriya Oikya. Just like in the railway line, you see two parallel lines. If they are in order, the railway carriages have carried very smoothly to the destination. Here also, there are three parallel lines. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru. Saintly person, association of saintly person, acceptance of bona fide spiritual master, and faith in the scriptures. That's all. Then your carriage will be going nicely, without any disturbance. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vakya, Tinete Koriya Oikya. So, here in the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Personality of Godhead explaining himself, Krishna. So, if you say, how can I believe that Krishna said? Somebody has written in the name of Krishna that Krishna said, God said. No. This is called disciplic succession. You will see in this book, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, what Krishna said and how Arjuna understood, these things are described there. And the sadhu, saintly person, beginning from Vyasdev, Narad, down to many acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Mudhyacharya, Vishnu Swami, and latest Lord Chaitanya, in this way, they have accepted. Yes, it is spoken by Krishna. So this is the proof. If saintly persons have accepted, they have not denied. Authorities, they have accepted, yes. This is called sadhu. And because sadhu, saintly persons have accepted, therefore it is scripture. That is the test. Just like it is common sense affair. If the lawyers accept some book, then it is to be understood that this is law book. You cannot say that, how can I accept this is law? The evidence is the lawyers are accepting. Medical. If the medical practitioners accept, then that is authoritative medical. Similarly, if saintly persons are accepting Bhagavad Gita as scripture, you cannot deny it. The sadhu shastra, saintly person and scripture. Two things. And who is spiritual master? Three parallel 9. Who accept the sadhu and the scripture. Sadhu confirms the scripture and spiritual master accept the scripture. Simple process. So, they are not in disagreement. What is spoken in the scripture is accepted by a saintly person, and what is spoken in the scripture, the spiritual master explains only that thing, that's all. So, via media is the scripture. Just like lawyer and the litigants, via media is the law book. Similarly, the spiritual master, the scripture, saintly person means who confirms the Vedic injunctions, who accepts. And scripture means what is accepted by the saintly person, and spiritual master means who follows the scripture. So, things equal to the same thing are equal to one another. This is axiomatic truth. If you have got $100 and another man has got $100, and if I have got $100, then we are all equal. Similarly, sadhu, shastra, guru, vakya, when these three parallel lines in agreement, then life is success. So here Krishna speaking Bhagavad Gita, Maya Saktamanaya, about the yoga system. He has already concluded in the 6th chapter the yoga system. And in the first six chapters, it is explained what is the constitutional position of the living entity. There are 18 chapters in the Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 chapters explains only the constitutional position of the living entities. And when it is understood, just like when you understand your actual position, then your activities actually begin. If you do not know what is your actual position, suppose in an office, if your post is not settled up, what duty you have to execute, then you cannot do anything very nicely. Here is a typist, here is a clerk, here is a peon, here is a this and that, so they are executing their work very nicely. So one has to understand what is the constitutional position of the living entity. So that is explained in the first 6 chapter. Ardena satkena upasakasya jivasya sarupa tat prapti sadhanancha pradhanyam proktam. The Baladev Vidyabhushan, a very nice authorized commentator on the Bhagavad Gita, he says that in the first 6 chapters, the constitutional position of the living entity has been very nicely explained. And how one can understand his constitutional position, that is also explained. So, the yoga system means to understand his constitutional position. Yoga Indriya Samyama. We are busy with sense activities. The material life means business of sense activities. The whole world activity, when you go, stand on the street, you will see everybody is very busy. The storekeeper is busy, the motor driver is busy, everyone is very busy. So busy that so many accidents in business. Now why they are busy? If you minutely study what is their business, the business is sense gratification. There's everyone is busy how to gratify senses. This is material. And yoga means to control the senses, to understand my spiritual position, my constitutional position. Yeah. Just like a boy who is accustomed to playing only, he cannot concentrate in his study, in understanding his future life, or in elevating himself higher position. Similarly, if we are engaged like child, without knowing the future of life, simply playing with the senses, that is called material life. The difference between material life and spiritual life is that if somebody is simply engaged in sense gratification business, that is called material life. And out of many thousands of such materialistic person, if somebody is trying to understand what I am, why I have come here, why I am put into so many miserable conditions of life, is there any remedy? These questions, when arises, then practically his spiritual life begins. And the human form of life is meant for that. In animal life, they do not know anything except sense gratification. They have no power, their consciousness is not developed. Just like in the Green Lake Park, there are so many ducks. As soon as somebody goes there with some little food, they gather. Caw, 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 caw. That's all. And after eating, they are enjoying sex life. That's all. So, similarly, like cats and dogs and these animals, the human life is also like that. If there is no question what I am, if they are simply directed by the sense urges, they are no better than these ducks and dogs. So therefore, in the first 6 chapters, it has been decided that living entity is a spiritual spark. It is very difficult to find out where this spark is, because it is so small, minute. There is no material microscope or machine to find out, but it is there. It is there. The symptom is because it is there in my body, because it is there in your body. Therefore you are moving, you are talking, you are planning, so many things you are doing. Simply for that, the spiritual spark. So, we are very minute spark of the Supreme Spirit. Just like there are in the sunshine, minute particle, shining particle. With shining, these shining particles, when they are mixed together, that is sunshine. But they are molecules. They are separate atomic molecules. Similarly, in relationship with God and ourselves, we are also minute particles of God, shining. Shining means we have got the same propensities, thinking, feeling, willing, creating, everything. Whatever you see in yourself, that is there in God. So God cannot be impersonal, because we are all personal. I have got so many propensities. That is very minute quantity. The same propensities are there in Krishna or God, but that is very great, unlimited. This is the study of Krsna consciousness. Simply, greatness, my position is very small. And we are so small, infinitesimal. Still we have got so many propensities, so many desires, so many activities, so many brain work. Just imagine how much greater brain work and desire and propensities are there in God. Because He is great. His greatness means all these things what you have got, that is existing in Him in greatness. That's all. Qualitatively, we are one, but quantitatively, we are different. He is great, we are small. He is infinite, we are infinite. Therefore, the conclusion is, just like infinite particles of fire, sparks, when they are with the fire, they look very nice, with fire and spark. But when the sparks are out of the fire, main fire, they extinguish. No more fire. Similarly, we are sparks of Krishna and God. When we associate with God, then that illuminating power, fire, is renovated. Otherwise, we are extinguished. Although you are sparks, our present life, this material life, is covered. The spark is covered or extinguished almost. This is only example. It cannot be extinguished. If it is extinguished, how we are manifesting our living condition? It is not extinguished, but it is covered. Just like when fire is covered, you will feel heat on the covering. but you cannot see the fire directly. Similarly, the spiritual spark is covered by his material dress, that we cannot see. The doctor says, the bodily function has failed, therefore heart has failed. He is dead. But why heart fails, he does not know. There is no medical science calculated. They will say so many reasons, that because the blood corpuscles, red corpuscles has ceased to function, it has become white, therefore it is... No, this is not right answer. The blood can be made red, or redness is not light. There are many natural products which is red by nature. That does not mean there is light. So this argument that red corpuscles have ceased, therefore life has ceased. No. There are so many arguments and counter-arguments. Actually this is the fact, because we are speaking on the strength of scripture, saintly persons and spiritual law. That is the way of understanding. You cannot manufacture with your teeny brain imperfect senses. Human beings, they are imperfect, always. Just for example, that a child is seeing the sun and a scientist is seeing the sun. By nature, the child's knowledge of the sun is imperfect. The same child, when he takes instruction from a scientist, he can understand the sun is so great. Therefore, direct perception of knowledge by these senses is always imperfect. You have to approach authority in every sphere of life. Similarly, if you want to understand what is God, then you have to take shelter of this Bhagavad Gita. There is no alternative. You cannot speculate. The God may be like this, God may be like that. There is no God, God is dead, God is not dead. This is simply speculation. Here Krishna says, Mayasakta manaprartha jogam junjan madasaya asangsang samagrang mang jatha ghasasi tachin. If you believe that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is speaking personally, as Arjuna believed, then you can understand what is God. Otherwise it is not possible. Asangsang. So, the process is, and the first process is, Maya Saptamana. You have to constantly engage your mind in Krishna. That is the yoga process, which we are presenting as Krsna Consciousness. Krsna Consciousness, just like if you constantly join yourself with the electric powerhouse, there is incessant supply of electric energy. Similarly, if you constantly engage your mind in Krishna, that is also not very difficult. Krishna is all attractive. Krishna is beautiful. Krishna has so many activities. The whole Vedic literature is full of Krishna's activities. This Bhagavad Gita is full of Krishna's activities. Simply by understanding that God is great, that is neutral state of understanding. But you have to elevate more and more. How great He is. How great He is, it is not possible to understand, because our senses are always imperfect. But as far as possible, you can hear about the activities of God, about the position of God, and you can think over it, you can make your judgment, you can put your argument, then you will understand without any doubt what is God. The first beginning is Maya Saktamana. In the last chapter, Krishna has explained that one who is constantly absorbed in the thought of Krishna, he is first class yogi. First class yogi. In your country, yoga system is very popular, but you do not know who is a first class yogi. The first class yogi explained in the Bhagavad Gita, yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaratma, that out of many, many thousands of yogis, the yogi or bhakta yogi, who is always seeing within himself, within his heart, the form of Krishna. He is first class. He is first class. So you have to continue that first class yoga system, and that is explained here, Maya Saptamana. Being attached, mind is the vehicle for being attached. If you are attached to somebody, some boy, some girl, some person, generally we become attached to a person. Impersonal attachment is bogus thing. If you want to be attached, that attachment must be personal. Is it not a fact? Impersonal attachment. You cannot love the sky, but you can love the sun. You can love the moon. You can love the stars because they are localized person. And if you want to love the sky, it is very difficult for you. You have to come again to this sun. So, yoga system culminating in its perfection in love. So you have to love somebody, person, that is Krishna. Just like here is a picture, Radharani is loving Krishna and offering his flowers to Krishna, and Krishna is playing with his flute. You can think of this picture nicely, always. Then you become constantly in yoga, samadhi. Why impersonal? Why is something void? Void cannot be. If you think something void, there will be something light, something colorful, so many things you will find. But that is also form. How you can avoid form? That is not possible. Therefore, why don't you concentrate your mind to the real form? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller, the Supreme Controller, who has got a body. How? Vigraha. Vigraha means body. And what sort of body? Satchidananda, eternal body. Full of bliss, full of knowledge. That body. Not like body, like this. This body is full of ignorance, full of miseries, and not eternal. Just opposite. His body is eternal. My body is not eternal. His body is full of bliss. My body is full of miseries. Always something troubling me. Headache, toothache, this ache, that ache. Somebody has given me personal trouble. So many. adhyatik, adhibhautik, severe heat, severe cold, so many things. This body is always under threefold miseries, this material body. So, if you think of Krishna, that is the process, Krsna consciousness, then Maya Saktamana Prartha Jung Jinjan Madas. If you practice this yoga system, Krishna consciousness, how? Madasraya. Madasraya means taking shelter of somebody who is in touch with me. Madasraya. Madasraya means directly in touch with him. Directly you are in touch with him as soon as you think of him, his form. But unless you take shelter of a spiritual master who knows about him, you cannot concentrate for a long time. It may be temporary. Therefore, you have to hear from a person who knows about Krishna, then your concentration of mind on Krishna will continue. You have to act according to his direction. Everything, your life should be molded in such a way under the direction of the spiritual master. Then you can continue this yoga system perfectly. What is that yoga system? That yoga system explained in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter, last verse, yoginamapi sarvisam madgata antaratmana. One who is always thinking of me, madgata. He is first class yogi. In many places it is stated, premanjana churita, how you can think of Krishna unless you develop love for Krishna, just like Radharani. Radharani, she has come, she was married, and household life, but she has come to Krishna to worship. Similarly, we have to place Krishna always in our mind, think of him. Then this very process, Maya Saktamana Prartha, Jugam Janjan Madasraya, under the protection of myself or my representative, when you understand samagram perfectly well, then your life is successful. Asangsam, without any doubt. Not that because your spiritual master says that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No. If you have got any doubt, just question, just try to understand. It is a fact that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, undoubtedly. But if you have got some doubt, you can clear it, asangsam. In this way, if you practice this yoga system, Krsna consciousness, the topmost of all yoga system, the asangsang samagrang mang jathagasashi, then you will understand Krishna or the Supreme Personality Godhead perfectly well, without any doubt. And your life will be successful. Thank you. Any question?
What is the difference between Baba and Prem? What is the difference between Baba and Prem?
Prem is mature condition of bhava. Just like a a ripe mango and green mango. Green mango is the cause of ripe mango. But to taste ripe mango is better than unripe mango. Similarly, before attaining love of Godhead, you have got different stages. Just like the same mango, it passes through different stages. Then one day it comes nice yellow color, fully ripened, and taste is so nice. The same mango. The mango does not change, but it comes to the mature stage. So, this example, the mango is in the beginning a flower, then gradually a little fruit, then gradually it grows, then it becomes very tight, green, and then gradually it becomes little yellowish, and it becomes fully ripe. This is the process of everything. In material world also, there are 6 processes. And the last process is vanquish. This mango example or any other material example, we can accept it so far the growth is required, concerned. But material example is not perfect. Just like mango, when it is ripe, somebody eats, that's all right. Otherwise, it will overripe, it will decompose, it will fall down and finish. That is material. But spiritual is not like that. It is not finished. If you want come to the stage of mature stage of love, then that perfectional stage continues eternally and your life is successful. Prema pumartha maha. There are many different types of perfection in this material world. Somebody is thinking this is perfection of life. Materialists, they are thinking if I can enjoy my senses very nicely, that is perfection of life. That is their point of view. And when they are frustrated, they find out, try to find out something better. So if he is not guided, something better means the same sex and intoxication, that's all. Simply become irresponsible, that's all. Because there is no guide. He is finding out, searching out something better. But because there is no guide, he comes to the same sense or sex and intoxication. To forget. A businessman, when he is failure, so much disturbance, he tries to forget him by drinking. And this is artificial way. This is not actually the remedy. How long you can forget? Sleep. How long you can sleep? Again wake up, again you are in the same position. That is not the way. But if you come to the stage of love of Godhead, then naturally you forget all this nonsense. Naturally. Param dishtyani vartat. If you find out something more palatable, more relisable, you give up nonsense things which is not so nice to taste. So Kṛṣna consciousness is such a thing. It is leading you to a standard where going you will forget all this nonsense. That is real life. Brahma Bhuta, Prasannatma. As soon as you come to that state, then your symptom will be that you are joyful. You are feeling everywhere. There are many instances. So, when you accept this material world in relationship with Krishna, you taste that love of Godhead, even in this material. Actually, material world means completely in forgetfulness of God or Krishna. That is material. Otherwise, if you are in full consciousness of Krishna, you will find only spiritual world, even in this material world. Consciousness. It is all consciousness. The same example, just like the king and the bug is sitting on the same throne, but the bug knows that my business is simply to get some blood, that's all. The king knows that I have to rule, I am the ruler of this country. So, sitting on the same place, but the consciousness is different. Similarly, if you change your consciousness to Kṛṣna consciousness, wherever you are in Vaikuṇṭha. Well, it doesn't matter, yes?
I'd like you to explain the origin and significance of what is called the Jagannath Har Festival.
Jagannath festival is significant is that when Krishna left Vrindavan, Krishna was raised by his foster father, Nanda Maharaj, but when he was grown up, 16 years old, he was taken away by his real father, Vasudeva, and they left Vrindavan, Krishna and Balaram, two brothers, and they were resident, their kingdom was in Dwarka. So, in Kurukshetra is always Dharmakshetra, pilgrimage. There was some lunar, solar eclipse, and many persons from many parts of India, they came to take bath. Similarly, Krishna and Balaram and their sister Subhadra, they also came in royal fashion with so many soldiers and so many, just like king. So these residents of Vrindavan, they met Krishna, and especially the gopis, they saw Krishna and they lamented that Krishna, you are here, we are also here, but the place is different. We are not in Vrindavan. So, there is a long story how they lamented and how Krishna pacified them. This is a feeling of separation, and how the inhabitants of Vrindavan felt separation from Krishna. So this, when Krishna came on chariot, that is called Ratha Yatra. This is the history of Ratha Yatra. So any pastimes made by Krishna, that is observed in ceremonial form by the devotees. So that is Ratha Jatra.
How may we recognize Yogamaya?
I do not know what is your question.
He wants to know how we may recognize Yogamaya, how we may know.
Yogamaya?
Yeah.
Yogamaya means that which connects you. Yoga means connection. When you are being gradually advanced in Kṛṣna consciousness, that is the action of Yogamaya. And when you are gradually forgetting Krishna, that is the action of Mahamaya. The Maya is acting upon you. The one is dragging you, and one is pushing you. Opposite way. Yogamaya. So, just like the example that you are always under the laws of government. You cannot deny. If you say, I don't agree to abide by the laws of government, that is not possible. But when you are a criminal, you are under the police laws, and when you are a gentleman, you are under the civil laws. The laws are there. In any situation, you have to obey the laws of government. If you remain as a civilized citizen, then you are always protected by the civil law. And as soon as you are against the state, the criminal law will act upon you. So the criminal activities of law is Mahamaya, threefold miseries, always. Always putting in some sort of misery. And the civil department of Krishna, Anandamudi Vardhanam, is simply go on increasing the depth of the ocean of joy. Anandamudi Vardhanam. That is the difference, Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Yogamaya, the original Yogamaya, is Krishna's internal potency, that is Radha. And Mahamaya is external potency, Durga. This Durga is explained in Brahma Samhita. Sisti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti rika chaiva yassa bhuvanani vibharti Durga. Durga is the superintending goddess of this whole material world. Everything is going on under his control, under her control. Prakriti is energy. Energy is accepted as feminine. Just like these materialistic persons, they are also working under some energy. What is that energy? The sex life, that's all. They are traveling so much. At night I will have sex life. That's all. That is the energy. Janamaithunadi grihamedi sukham mitucham. Their life is based on the sex. That's all. Everyone is working so hard, culminating in sex. That's all. This is material life. So energy. The material energy means sex. But that is energy. If a person who is working in the factory, if you stop sex, he cannot work. And when he is unable to enjoy sex life, then he takes intoxication. This is material life. So energy must be there. Here in the material world, the energy is sex, and in the spiritual world, the energy is love. Here, the love is misrepresented in sex. That is not love, that is lust. Love is only possible in Krishna, nowhere else. Nowhere else love is possible. There is a misrepresentation of love, that is lust. So love and lust. Love is Yogamaya and lust is Mahamaya. Is that all right? So, any other question?
Christ consciousness and Kṛṣṇa consciousness. The words are so similar. Please combine the words, explain how the words came to us.
That I have explained many times. A pocket dictionary and international dictionary. You cannot say that pocket dictionary is no dictionary, but it is meant for a certain class of student. An international dictionary is meant for a certain class of student. They are all students. What was spoken by Christ, that is also God consciousness. But that was meant for a certain class of men. And what class of men they were? They are not even perfectly civilized. Because Christ was explaining God consciousness, that was his fault, and they crucified him. What class of men they were? Judge. His only fault was that he was explaining God, and they crucified him. The reward was crucifixion. So what class of men they were? The status of that society. Just try to understand. Therefore, what was spoken by Lord Jesus Christ, for them that was sufficient. But when Bhagavad Gita is spoken to a person like Arjuna, that is different thing. So we have to speak according to the time, according to the circumstances, according to the audience. Don't you see that here only a few persons are attending? Why? They cannot understand this Kṛṣṇa science, Kṛṣṇa consciousness. It is not meant for all classes of men. It is higher standard of God consciousness. Love. Love of God. So, there is also teachings of love of God, undoubtedly. That is the difference. The same thing, always try to understand. The small pocket dictionary for students who are in the primary stage and an international dictionary for higher students, postgraduate students. Both of them are dictionaries. But it is meant for somebody, it is meant for somebody. And the test is phalena parichayata. Phalena parichayata, you have to understand. Suppose you are traveling in a forest, so many trees are there, but you cannot understand what is this tree, what is that. But as soon as you see the flower, oh, here is apple, or this is apple tree. Just like the other day you were telling. You never saw apple tree? Yes. Now as soon as you saw the apple, you understood this is apple tree. Oh. The test of any scripture is how one is developing love of God. Phalena parichayata. If you find that following some religious principles, you are developing your love of God, then it is perfect. It doesn't matter whether it is Bible or Quran or Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't matter. We have to see what is the fruit. If the fruit is that people are developing love of God, then it is perfect. Don't try to understand whether this is good, this is good, this is bad, this is no. Try to understand by the result. Just like the same way, if you see the fruit, then it is first class. So it doesn't matter whether it is Bible or Gita. If you can develop love of Godhead by reading Bible, it is first class. And if you can develop love of Godhead by Bhagavad Gita, it is first class. And if you do not, then either it is Bible or Quran or Bhagavad Gita, it has no effect for you. So it is up to you, not by comparison, but by your own activities. If you actually follow the instruction given by Lord Jesus Christ, you will also develop love of Godhead. There is no doubt. Similarly, if you follow the instruction of Krishna, you will also develop. So it is up to you. You try to follow. If you do not follow, simply try to make a comparative study, this is good or this is bad, this is bad or this is good. That is called samaeva hi kevalam, simply laboring. Why comparative study? Just see how much you are developing love of God. That's all. Phalena parichayata. Whether it is apple is there, that's all right. Never mind what is this tree. I am concerned with the apple. Yes.
Prabhupada, sometimes there may be differences between what is love of Godhead between Christian and Muslim, Muslim and Buddhist, Buddhist, Hindu. They may quarrel. At what is love?
The quarrel, those who are not in love of Godhead, they must quarrel. That is because they are cats and dogs. You cannot expect any peaceful condition between cats and dogs. They will fight. So whatever they may be, so long they are fighting, that means they are not on the perfectional stage. Where is the fighting? If you love God, then you love everyone. That is the sign. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. After attaining the stage of equality, then you can enter into the realm of loving God. Before that you have to pass. Just like before entering law college, you have to become graduate. Similarly, before entering the realm of devotional service, you have to realize that all living entities are on the same platform. That is a realization. You cannot make any distinction that this is lower, this is higher. No. Pandita samadarshana. When a person is fully learned, he does not make any distinction that he is human being, he is cow, he is dog, he is son. He sees that he is spirit soul, covered in different dress. That's all. That is his vision, universal, equality vision. You cannot say the dog has no life, the cow has no life. How can we say that there is no life? There is lack of your knowledge. What is the symptom of life? You will find the symptom of life is there in human being, in ant also. How can you say that the small creatures, lower animals have no life? That is lack of your knowledge. Even trees, plants, they have got life. So perfect knowledge is required. So love of Godhead on the basis of perfect knowledge is real love. Otherwise it is fanaticism. So the fanatics, they may fight, but that is not love of Godhead. Of course, it is very difficult to come to that stage, but one should try. That is Krsna Consciousness. We are all students. We are trying. But there are degrees also. Just like in an educational institution, there is 10th class, 8th class, 5th class, 6th class. Then with the yoga, there is just like a staircase or a lift. So, there are different stages of perfection. The highest perfection is who is always thinking of Krishna. That is. Yoginam api sarvisam madgata antaratmana sadhyavan bhajati. The highest perfection is Krishna, thinking always Krishna and Radharani. That is the highest perfection. She has no other business, simply thinking of Krishna.
While we're chanting our rounds or while we're chanting out loud in kirtan, is it right to be engaging our mind in thinking?
Is it not?
Feels already.
This is practical way. If we are not minding, The chanting will force you to mind upon you. You see? Krishna sound will by force. Chanting is so nice. And this is the practical yoga in this age. You cannot meditate. Your mind is so disturbed, you cannot concentrate your mind. Therefore, chant, and by sound vibration, it will forcibly enter into your mind. Even if you don't want Krishna, Krishna will enter within your mind. By force. This is the easiest process. You don't require to endeavor. Krishna is coming. It's a very nice process. This is recommended therefore for this age. And others also will be benefited. You chant loudly, others who are not accustomed, they will also, at least just like on the street, on the park, they say, Hare Krishna. How they have learned? By hearing this chanting. That's all. Sometimes the children, as soon as they see us, they say, oh, Hare Krishna. In Montreal, the children, when I was walking on the street, and all the children, the shopkeepers, the storekeepers, they say, Hare Krishna. And that's all. So you have forced Hare Krishna within the mind. If you practice yoga, meditate, it may be beneficial for you, but this is beneficial for many others. Suppose something very good, you are enjoying yourself, some sweet balls. That is one stage. But if you distribute sweet balls, that is another stage. So by chanting on the road, on the street, you are distributing sweet balls. You are not miser that you are eating yourself. You are so liberal that you are distributing to others. Now chant, distribute. When you go to a medical man, Do you ask him whether he is Christian or Hindu? I am asking you. Suppose you go to a medical man, do you ask him, are you Christian or Muslim or Hindu? Do you ask him? No, I am asking this girl. Why? Because your business is to cure your disease. It doesn't matter whether he is a Christian or a Hindu or Mohammedan. It doesn't matter. Similarly, you have to seek love of God. Wherever it is available, you have to take it. That should be the point of view. It doesn't matter where it is available. One should be hankering after love of God. Love of God. Gold, somebody is after purchasing gold. It doesn't matter where it is available. Similarly, it doesn't matter whether you develop love of Godhead from this scripture or that scripture. Your aim should be whether you are developing love of Godhead or developing love of non-God. That should be the test.
My master, I came to pay my respects, and I'm most distressed that I need to leave. But there are a series of people who are waiting for me for a spiritual meeting also.
Thank you very
So
much.
permit me to bow to you.
Please come again.
Thank you very much.
Take some prasad.
Thank you very much.
So you did not question anything? If you have got any doubts?
I beg your pardon. Do I have any doubts? Divine Master, you may be able to read my heart. I have no pretensions to speak one way or another. There is no doubt.
She said there is no doubt.
That's